Hello and welcome to Holder's House Kitchen. We are making a Neapolitan Margarita pizza as traditional as possible. There are some ingredients that I didn't actually use because I didn't have them. So right now I am using a dry measuring cup to measure up my flour. I will also get to the ingredients that I missed or didn't have or had a rough substitute for. Now I am trying to make this as accurate as possible. Some ingredients may not be the best, but right now I am working with what I have. So after I measured out my flour, I poured in my yeast water and mixing that in right now. I realized that I needed more flour by that time because it was too sticky for me. So I just dumped more flour in, which probably was not the smartest idea at the time. But in the end, you'll see how it worked. I also had realized that I completely forgot to add my salt that I needed for my dough. So whatever flour I needed, I just poured the rest right into my bowl, which again wasn't the smartest idea, but you'll see how it worked. I also apologize for anything that got in the way of what I was doing. You probably can't really see me kneading my dough right now. And I keep kneading my dough until I get the, I want to say consistency or the texture that I want for my pizza. So I have to speed this clip up about 3 times its normal speed that I have in my videos. So you can see me kneading like a madman right now, just adding more flour to my surface and kind of letting it sit for a bit, which probably may or may not have affected it, just so I can go and grab a couple of bowls maybe, or my bench scraper. So right here, I'm using my bench scraper to separate my dough into 2 separate parts. And right now, I'm trying to use a trick that I saw before, and another trick that I've seen people use when trying to make a ball of pizza dough. They both didn't work for me as well as I thought they might. But nonetheless, it still worked. So I've put my dough into 2 separate bowls for the dough to rise. I let it rise for about 48 hours, give or take a few, just so the dough can get nice and fluffy and full of air. After I let the dough rest, I had flour to surface and was ready to spread my dough out to form my pizza crust. I'm currently just making it a ball so it's easier for me to spread my dough out. Right here, I'm just pressing down in the middle, removing all the air bubbles that would be right there, just so I can get the formation of my round-ish pizza crust. I also tried doing a method to spread out the dough. It didn't work. So I'm just going to continue with pressing the dough. I have stretched it just by pinching it. I also tried another method for stretching the dough, and I found it worked a little bit better. But I also kept pressing down the center of the dough so I could have a thin inside while still having a very airy outer crust. My dough is now stretched out to the circumference that I like. I am now moving my dough onto a pizza stone. I don't know what it's actually called because I do not have a pizza oven, and you'll see that in a second or two after I get all my toppings on. Because the dough kind of moved on me, I am stretching it out on the stone just so it won't be so small when I put it in my oven. Because I didn't have the certain tomatoes that you would crush up and use as pizza sauce, I just used plain tomato sauce. And I may have used too much, or I may have used just enough, but in my personal opinion, I think it was perfect. So now I'm cutting up some pizza mozzarella, not shredded pizza mozzarella, keep in mind. So I was cutting this up into slices. It was actually fairly difficult, and when using a knife, please remember to use the claw grip method. I did not, because I was foolish, but I did remember it at some point, in at least some parts. Once I had my mozzarella cut up, I had placed a few pieces of mozzarella around my pizza. I also added some fresh-ish basil, but it's much better if it's fresh. That way, it just makes it so much better. So right here, I am turning up my oven to 500 because usually in a pizza oven, you want the pizza to cook almost instantly. So here I am putting my pizza in the oven. I forgot to add the olive oil before putting the pizza in the oven. I didn't realize that till I took the pizza out. Right here you can see, you can't really see the olive oil, but you can see that the cheese is browned up a bit. I'm not too sure if that's supposed to happen, but regardless, the pizza was really good. So here, instead of using a pizza cutter, I'm using scissors like they would traditionally when cutting a margarita pizza. And at times it was hot to touch, but I found it actually worked so much better than using a pizza cutter. I apologize, my elbow was right in the way. Here I've plated my margarita pizza again, still without olive oil, because I'm a fool and forgot it. And you can see that the crust isn't thick dough, it's very airy. I think this would be the forever way that I make pizza because I really enjoyed it, and also keep in mind I did actually use olive oil on my oven pizza. You would have seen the pictures from at the beginning of the video. And I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and let me know what I should cook next. I'll see you in the next dish. Goodbye.